Good morning, everybody. It's Gary here, Fathers for Justice South Africa. It is the 30th of May, 2021. Why Fathers for Justice charges for its services and why the advice that we give doesn't work. The why we charge for our services. Okay, so we are not funded by anybody. And in order for me to do this on a full-time basis and to get the necessary skills and assistance that you guys need on a nationwide business, we are trying to effectively grow a business, start and grow a business. It's that simple. That's not a complicated discussion. The lawyers, the advocates, the psychologists, the social welfare workers, the mediators that we'll be bringing on. Surprise, surprise, guys. These are professional people. And just like any other lawyer's firm or psychologist firm that you go to, they will charge you for their time and services. We are trying to, the objective is and always has been to provide cost-effective services so that you're not being obliterated financially. But obviously we are trying to attract the cream of the crop insofar as psychologists and lawyers are concerned, and more specifically lawyers and psychologists and advocates and so on, that whose principles and integrity and mission aligns with that of Fathers for Justice South Africa. Having branches so that you guys can go in and sit down and do a consultation or mediation or go for therapy or whatever the case may be, those offices need to be available to you guys. Yes, there are cheaper alternatives. So you can rent offices by the hour or whatever the case may be, but that still costs money, guys. It's just like, and so that's why we charge for the services. It's that simple. It's not complicated. The membership fee is designed to sort of like create a cash flow so that we can start the engine effectively. And I've said many times, along with the class action suit, that we would take a portion of the funds that we raise out of that to start branches, at the very least in the 4 to 5 major centers across the country, with Johannesburg being the first one, and then obviously Cape Town, PE, Durban, Bloem, Polokwane, and then we would look at the likes of Nelspruit, what else? Pietermaritzburg, Pretoria, Rustenburg, and should the need arise, maybe even East London. Okay, that's the objective. But the first one doesn't have to be, it would be nice from a logistics point of view to start the one in Johannesburg. Why the information and advice from Fathers for Justice doesn't work. It's because we've read the law, and a thing like perjury, for instance, there is a law that says if you perjure yourself in documents to the police, in documentation to the courts that is submitted and heard and read into court documents, that is perjury. You've perjured yourself. If they are false, fake, or lies, deceit, dishonesty, whatever way you want to put it. Perjury carries a sentence of either a fine and or a 5 to 10 year prison sentence. Specifically when it comes to making false accusations in a protection order, and we know that lawyers in South Africa specifically advise their female clients to make false allegations of abuse, violence, neglect, sexual abuse, rape, intimidation, mental and psychological abuse. We know that the lawyers, the deceitful, dishonest, child abusing divorce industry specifically advises its female clients to make these false charges. Okay, that is a crime. It's called perjury. We know that because the courts are run by the feminazi and is gynocentric, they simply will not charge women for these false allegations. In the meantime, the first thing that happens, specifically when rape charges or sexual abuse of children takes place, the investigation that is done by psychologists or the teddy bear clinic, or under the influence of, and I'm sad to say, the mother, go and look up Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Coerce, train the children in what they need to say. The investigations, as gentle as they are a violation of that child's body and mind. Go and do your own investigation if you think I'm talking nonsense. Okay, please go and educate yourself. Okay, it is a violation of that child's body. The medical exam, if there's an accusation of rape, is a violation. It is abuse of the child. The medical exam that takes place is an abuse of the child. I understand where it has happened and they need to collect the evidence, and I'm saying on the other side of the coin, the courts, the police, the justice system simply doesn't care. Okay. All right, but you need to collect that evidence, and we already see the problem that we're sitting with in South Africa about the evidence not being able to be processed because of our incompetent government, our incompetent police chief, and so on. So that is why. So that's just a side. The investigation of a child is child abuse. Okay. So that is the one aspect of it. And children, they've got fertile minds, and they start imagining things, and they start believing in things that never happened. Please go and do your own investigation of how children perceive these things. Go and do your own research. But children believe that these fake or false things take place, and when you start listening to them, they are not talking from the perspective of an innocent child or a childlike innocence addressing the situation. Go and listen to the wording that they use. It's all adult talk. It's terminology, adult. It's adult terminology. It's adult discussion. It's adult discussions and words and so on and so forth that are used that a child wouldn't use. Okay. So why do I use that as an example? Is because the effect of what we're saying has long-term repercussions. The father is now having to, by the time the father invariably finds out that he has rights, at 6 months, a year down the line, too late, he's then required to now go and fight this. Some cases can take upwards of 6-7 years to get resolved, to get a noli prosecute. In the meantime, the child has been abused. The father had his constitutional, legal, both the child and the father's legal, constitutional, and financial rights have been unilaterally abused and obliterated. Okay. The problem that we sit with is that the child abusing divorce industry specialists will not, your lawyer, will not charge the mother, her lawyer, her advocate, her psychologist, her social welfare worker, the public prosecutor, and the magistrate and the judge. They will not charge them for perjury. So there's two sets of laws going on here, guys. One for men, one for women. And the reason that we say that the advice that we doesn't work is because that we cannot find lawyers that have the guts, the gumption, the balls, the initiative, the fortitude to take on the system. And you know why? Because go and listen how they talk about it. Oh, Your Honor, my esteemed colleague. Oh, Your Honor, my colleague doesn't understand the situation. Oh, Your Honor. Listen to that word, colleague. If I climb into a boxing ring, do you think I'm going to go there for a tickle and a shiatsu with the oak? No, I'm getting in the ring there to beat the snot out of him. But the lawyers, they want to go for a little lovey-dovey, little talk. You know why? Because guess what? The next case that comes around, they're going to need that lawyer to negotiate stuff. Or he's already got a huge deal on the back burner with the other lawyer. So they're never going to screw each other over. Okay. So that's why you've either got to do it yourself or you've got to join an organization like Fathers for Justice, and you've got to fund us, guys. So that we can get, so the lawyers and the advocates and the psychologists that work for us will be given a contract, and they will get reviewed on their performance of taking the cases on. So that when you go to court, whether you are the applicant or the respondent, it doesn't matter. But this first person that will be responding or applying will be Fathers for Justice and John Smith or Thabo Letswalo or whatever the case may be. They'll be acting on our instruction. The psychologist will be told, don't give me a copy and paste document. I want the facts. I want the truth. And that psychologist will be working under KPIs and KPDs. Okay. So we're not going to be, and guess what? Our lawyers, Rule of 48 will be applied. Okay. If perjury charge, if false accusations are made, guess what? They will be, they will not even have to wait to come to the likes of myself. They will automatically know they must charge the other side for perjury. All the way to the top. Parental alienation syndrome. Parental alienation syndrome, guys, is child abuse. Our lawyers and psychologists and advocates will automatically, as part of their KPIs and KPDs, will be instructed to automatically charge everybody involved on the other side for, at the very least, emotional and psychological child abuse. But until that time happens, guys, the advice that Fathers for Justice gives, and here's the thing is there a law against perjury? Yes, there is. Is there a law against emotional and psychological child abuse? Yes, there is. So that's why the advice is not working. But you guys will run off. It's like, I cannot believe it. You guys cannot wait to get the money out of your pocket, to go and waste with the lawyers. One oak comes to me and he says to me, Gary, you know, after I've paid the lawyer, when do they start working? When do they start doing the work? I said, what do you mean? No, I've been paying the lawyer for the last 6 months. I said, yeah, and? No, I'm paying her 7,000 Rand a month. And I said, yeah, and? No, well, I'm waiting for her to get back to me. Really? That's the stupidity that I'm dealing with out there. 6 sevens are 42,000 Rand, and the lawyer hasn't even bothered. She hasn't even bothered to pick up a telephone or phone the other side or send them a letter or get him in for a consultation or an interview or whatever. Take down his details. Take down what's going on. True story. So, yes, we charge for our services. I'm not ashamed about it. The other thing is that I found that guys will phone me up and, oh, no, Gary, just 2 minutes of your time. 3 hours later. At one stage, I was doing 18 hours a day, from 6 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock at night. I was exhausted. I was shattered. I did it for about 3 months, and I had to stop it. I wasn't getting any money in. I wasn't earning anything. And you know what? I'll do maybe 1, 2, 3 consultations a month, and that's what it is. And I'm sorry, I can't, and it's exceptionally arrogant and egotistical for me to expect that I can save the world. As much as I want to, I can't. Okay. So I hope that explains it to you all. We are not funded. We're trying to do stuff for you guys. We're trying to use the current law. And I've said it before in many documentation, in many videos. The law is there. It's just not being applied. We will apply the law. So you have a choice. Please sign up for membership, 90 Rand a month. That helps for things to keep going. There is the class action suit. It's $1,000. You can pay it over 10 months. Consultations are $850 for half an hour. We'd obviously like lawyers. We charge for our time. It's a time-based thing. And psychologists, for that matter. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. Please get the information out there, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe the YouTube channel, the Facebook channel, the Google channel, and the LinkedIn channel. You want any further additional information, www.f4j.co.za, or you can email me at info@f4j.co.za. Have a fantastic day further. Love to you all.